What's going on, family? My name is Maurice F. Martin, and this is another episode of today's Inspiration. This is episode 3 of Motivational Tuesdays, where I'm bringing on special guests from across the country, men and women who are just absolute inspirations. A lot of them are entrepreneurial in many ways, and the next person I have is nothing short of that. Kellee Williams. What I love about her is that she is authentic in every way. You follow her on Instagram, Facebook, go to her website, or if you see her worshiping in church, what you see is a person who brings the real her to the table, no matter what area of life she's in, as a mother, as just a woman of God. So I think that she is somebody who's really going to bless you today. So Kellee, how are you today?
I am great, and thank you so much for inviting me to do this and share this with your audience.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're just going to jump right in. So you are the owner of Just Kellee Lifestyle Management. And so my understanding is you kind of focus on women, empowering women, help them to change and evolve their lives. So tell us a little bit at the start of this interview about what you do. What is your mission with your business?
So what I do is I do coaching, I do mentoring, and I do consulting with women who are interested in learning about different ways that they can manage certain areas of their life, whether it be motherhood, career, if they want to start a business, if they're looking to grow deeper in their spiritual walk. I help them manage their lives.
That's so good. And what's most important about that too is most of those things are all businesses in and of themselves. To be a mother and a wife, that's a business. That's a whole enterprise right there. And then to be able to do that and maybe branch into businesses or different walks of life, that's so good.
Yeah. So lifestyle management is kind of like a combination. Oh, and I'm saying that so wrong, so you have to forgive me because I try to use big words. I see them in my head, but sometimes they don't come out right. But it's a combination of all of my passions in one business. So I found a way to blend those so that it works not only for me, but for other people too.
That's so good. I think that in this season where there's so much change, people need to hear about, like, how do you find your own niche? How do you find your own unique voice and your own unique path that fits what God has put inside of you, not just try to follow what everybody else has done?
Yeah. So if you don't mind, let me tell you how I found that for myself, and then maybe
Absolutely.
this for somebody else. Okay. So I had to have been in my mid-20s, and I was at that age, that what they call millennial stage, where I realized that I was created for something, and I kind of liked my life, but I felt like it could have been like better. I just wasn't sure how to achieve that. So I am a woman of faith. I've been in the church my entire life, and so now at this point I figure, okay, this guy that I've been learning about and hearing about and feeling and experiencing, now I need to call on him to help me answer that question. What is my purpose? So I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I have to tell you, there were times that I became very, very frustrated because I wasn't getting the answer. So one day I happened to be at church. There was an altar call. I was at the point where I felt like I didn't need to go down for an altar call. But this time I said, you know what, God, I'm actually like getting a little bit mad here because you told me that you would give me the desires of my heart. And the desire of my heart currently is to know why I exist, what my purpose here is on this earth. And so after church, there was a lady that I had seen for years. I went to a fairly large church at the time. And you know how sometimes in church, and maybe your audience doesn't know this, but a lot of times in church, people find a seat. They sit there Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. Well, I had found my seat, which was on one side of the church. And this lady, who oftentimes sat on the other side, she came to me in the vestibule area after church one day, and I could see, I was the only one there. I could see she was walking towards me. So just as a gesture of kindness, of course, I smiled. And as she walked towards me, she said, "There it is. There's that smile I've been waiting for." She was like, "We needed that today. Thank you." And she hugged me, and she held me so tight, and it just felt so awkward, but so good. And so as she, we released the hug, I'm very self-reflective. I began to think, oh my goodness, the hug, the smile, what? And so I went home and I looked in the mirror, and I have to tell you, this was an exercise that I struggled with. But I looked in the mirror and I struggled with not crying as I looked in the mirror. This time though, when I looked in the mirror, I practiced my smile, because this woman told me that they needed that, and that's what they were looking for. So I practiced my smile, and I began to practice it not only in the mirror, but as I went on day to day to day. And so I'm like, okay, God, so my smile is my purpose. But that still didn't make sense to me. My smile is my purpose. And what I began to discover, because when you are searching for your purpose, or as your purpose is revealed to you, it's not just something that just happens. It's like an evolution. Like you gotta like discover it and search for it and continue to pray for it. So it's a journey. And what I discovered was, it's not just my smile. My smile is the gateway, it's the entrance to the encouragement that God really purposed me for. So I discovered that my purpose is to encourage. And how does that look? You see encouragement when I worship, because I'm smiling, I'm lifting. Like you said, I'm authentic. I see no other people. All I see is the glory of God when I worship. My purpose, encouragement in my business. I do things in excellence. I bet the word told us that do things as if you're doing them to God. And that's what I do. I do things in excellence. So in my business, I encourage people by showing them what excellent or trying to be excellent looks like. In my parenting, I do not get it right a lot of the times, but I'm trying, and I try to encourage other moms, especially moms, to just keep at it. Let your kids know I'm sorry, or let them know that I'm doing the best I can, but to try at it, to just be encouraging. Same with as a wife, you know, I don't always get it right, but I'm trying to encourage others that if we do things in love, you know, love conquers all. So yeah, I discovered for myself that was what my gift is, and not just gifts, but my purpose. And that's kind of how I challenge my clients and people that I mentor and whatnot. I try to encourage them to talk to God, find out what it is that He wants you to do. He'll let you know, and it might not come the way that you want, but He'll let you know.
Now, what I loved about that, anybody who's seen a couple of my episodes, I talk a whole lot about the importance of looking in a mirror. And I think that's a kind of a good place for us to start. That place of self-reflection. I always say, if you look inward, it usually leads you to looking upward. That it's when you start to look on the inside, you find where God is resting in you. Why is it so important for a person, especially if maybe they're trying to find their purpose, find their path? Why is it so important for them to be brave enough, courageous enough to look in the mirror and say, who am I and why am I here? Why is that so important?
Well, ultimately, I think people want to be better. I think people innately have this desire to move forward. So in order to do that, I feel that it's important that you take a look at who you are and begin to ask the questions to unpeel the layers of who you are. When I think of layers, I think of an onion, and I know that's like a weird thing to think about, but like how an onion just has so many layers. You know, that outer layer, you know, when you first buy it from the store, nobody wants that. That's the surface. That's the surface. Nobody wants that. You're not putting that in your grains.
Right.
So you peel it, and then you say, you know what? I still need to go deeper to get to the real fruit, the good stuff. I still need to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And just like in an onion, the more layers you peel off, the better quality things are. So I think it has to do with discovering what your qualities are, so that you're able to bring your best self to whatever it is that you're trying to do, achieve, or accomplish.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah, I think people needed to hear that, because so many times the outer layer, the part you said nobody wants, that tends to be what we think we're supposed to give everybody. So people say, how are you? And you give just a fake pleasantry instead of keeping it real, like, man, I'm not good today.
Right. And I think that it's okay to say that, because there's a lot of days, like, I think there's like this expectation because of how present that, you know, I'm just always supposed to be like in this fabulous mood. And there's some days where things aren't just going so right, and I'm a little confused, like, you know, the way I had it playing in my head is not how it's actually happening. So I get the, like you said, generic, oh, how are you? And I have to quickly determine, like, do I really tell them or do I not tell them? And then it's just so easy to say, oh, I'm good, but I'm really not. And but sometimes I do tell people, you know what? It's not so good right now, but it's getting better. And I'm gonna tell you, when you are like, when you say a comment like that, that usually stops people in their tracks, and it makes them think, you know what? When I asked you this question, did I really care? But now I do.
That's so good. It's funny. So you know, we're getting along well on the camera, so we probably seems like we know each other super well. We really don't. No, we do go to church together, but we go to a mega church. So you see a lot of people, a lot of familiar faces, and you know them. You know them by their smile, by their eyes, by their hug, but do you really know them? And so what I have really grown to respect and admire about you is that if I see you, you know, leading a song on the praise team, it's kind of what you described earlier. It's this authentic worship. You are not trying to entertain anyone. You are just singing to God. And by the way, we get to be there to watch. And then we became Facebook friends. And I saw some of the things you started posting. And yeah, you post inspiration, and you have you know, a separate group for coaches. PS, if you are a life coach, business coach, any kind of coach, and you're looking just for encouragement or just a good community, what is your coaching group called?
So it's called Cleveland Coaches Connect. So the premise behind that was, I'm a part of a lot of coaching groups all across the country, and I've noticed that there are some subsets like Boston, Baltimore, DC, and I'm just using that area, but like all over the country, they've got their own. Cleveland, to my knowledge, didn't have one. I searched for one and I didn't find one. So it is a group for coaches in I'm just going to say the northeastern Ohio area to come together to connect, collaborate. We all have our own specific road and niche. We all do what we do the way we do it. So it's not like a competition or anything like that. It's just a way for us to get together and maybe get some ideas or get some feedback and just connect and come together as coaches, because we are responsible for inspiring. We are responsible for helping people determine how their life is going to go. And I think that's a big task. So to have the support of other people in your area, not just people that you can connect to virtually, like on Facebook, because it is a Facebook group, but eventually, I mean, now we're in the midst of this COVID-19. I don't know who's watching this and when, but right now we're in the midst of COVID-19, and we can't physically touch each other. We can't physically meet. But really, that idea was to, at some point, have all these coaches come together, because we all specialize in something different, and maybe have panel discussions or ask the coaches type things. And this is just the beginning stages of that platform on Facebook.
That's so good. And so they saw it right there, right? That's the genuine authenticity I'm talking about. It's when you say it's not a competition, you actually mean it. Like, you are a person who's trying to be the best version of you can be, trying to be as real as you can be. If people do join your group, what they see is, I saw a post that you posted. It was like maybe a day or two ago, and I just loved it. And it was a picture of you, different businesses that you've had, some of which that have closed. And it was like, hey, if you're trying to get into business, if you're struggling in business, I've been there on all the areas of it. Let's talk about it. So often we try to put up a front. We only talk about the things we've been successful at. And in a way that hinders people from coming to you, because they say, well, I'm not good enough to work with that person. No. Because I failed and you feel like you're failing now, I can relate to you at a starting point. Then I can talk to you about how I grew.
Yeah, absolutely. So this might be foreign to some people, but I believe in order to really succeed, you have to embrace failure. Like, be ready for it, expect it, and like want it. Like, my husband and I, there's something I don't always, just like everybody else, I don't really always share my entire life on social media, but I've got other businesses going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. And earlier this year, my husband and I had gone away to a conference for this particular business, and we were on the airplane coming home, and we were just talking about it. We were so excited, and I told him, I said, you know what? I pray that whatever area of fit, like wherever we need to fail in this, I hope it comes fast and hard so we can learn these lessons so that we can soar and succeed in this business. And yeah, we hit some obstacles. Now they didn't knock us out or anything, but I asked and the obstacles came. But I wanted that. And now that's just about this particular business. But can I tell you something? Why I start things and I'm okay with them failing? Can I share with that briefly?
Please, because we need to hear this. This is important.
Okay, so back when I was in college, I had this professor at the end of our class. She was a business psychology professor. Awesome subject because I'm into psychology, but whatever. And at the end of every class, she would ask us. We go around the room, and we did two things around the room. It's a great way to soak up some time now that I think about it. But she asked us, "What did you learn?" So we would all discuss what we learned in that day's course. And then, okay, after that was done, she would ask us all, okay, so what do you wonder? And the first time she did that, she had to explain to us she had to coach us, if you will, on how to answer that question. What do you wonder? So in her explanation, and I loved this, in her explanation, she said, yeah, what do you wonder? Because see, it's important that you explore your sense of wonder. Explore your sense of wonder. It's important. It's okay. Wonder about things and then try them out. Test them. See what happens. What's the worst that can happen because you were interested in something and it didn't quite work out? Is there a lesson in that? What have you learned from wondering that? And when she said that, oh my gosh, it struck and it stuck. And it kind of gave me the confidence and permission to go after something that I was thinking about, something that I either felt purposed to do or was very passionate about. It gave me permission to try. It gave me permission to explore, to experience, to fall and fail, and to learn from that, so the next time I'm at a different place, I've learned something, I've gained something, and I'm able to achieve my next level in a different kind of capacity. Love that. That
is so good. That is so good. And people need to hear that for every walk of life. Because let's face it, the failures and successes you have in business are just a microcosm of life. We fail and succeed as husbands and wives. We fail and succeed as mothers and fathers, as children of God. We just fail and succeed our way through life. And if you run from your failures, you never get to grow and mature.
Absolutely. You can't run from them. So in my ebook that I have coming out, I talk about evening routines. Okay, so that's what the premise of this is. Right now, a lot of people talk about, start your day off right. Yeah, I have no problem with that. And there's a certain way that I like to start my day off. But I will tell you, my day doesn't always start in the morning. My day starts the night before. I'm such a big planner. But one of the things I talk about in my book is at night. Now, this doesn't have to take long. It doesn't take long at all. And sometimes it becomes a discussion with my children or with my husband. And sometimes I just, think about it and keep it private to myself. But the one thing that I always talk about, every evening I go through what worked today, what was the best part of my day, what was the worst part of my day, and then how can I make tomorrow more amazing. But I always think about what the worst part of my day is, because I want to learn from that. I want to grow from that. I want to explore maybe where I was wrong in that. Is it something, did I have an attitude this day and my day really wasn't that bad, but I made it bad? Like, I want to explore that so that we can move forward. Like, life is forward moving. Like, life is, we're moving, and I want to move, but I want to grow. Every day I should grow in some way. That's how I feel. And I talk about that in the ebook. Yeah.
So growth every day. And what I heard you said, it was good there, that it started off with a recap of the current day you're in. So often we live the day, we have good feelings and bad feelings. And because we don't process those feelings, we carry the feelings from Monday into Tuesday into Wednesday. There's a certain amount of weight that every day has. And so if I'm never processing that weight, eventually I'm going to fall. And so that I loved how you said, every night that's a process, different ways to do it. Sometimes with the kids, sometimes with my husband, sometimes by myself, but making sure I do it however I need to do it.
Yeah, and knowing that I'm going to do that every single night makes me more present during the day. It also helps keep me in check, because I'm telling you, like, I don't know if your audience can tell, but I can be a little sassy. If you catch me at the wrong moment, you might come out. But it keeps me present. It keeps me in check. It makes me more aware of myself. And back to that self-reflective piece and like looking in the mirror, it helps guide me for myself.
So let's talk a little bit about reflection and the importance of reflection. So why would you say that is so critical? I know that you have kind of a side ministry that you don't talk about a whole lot, Destination Bloom, right? And it seems like you're sitting around with groups of women and you are teaching them some really, really critical elements. And I know some of that has to do with reflection, projection, all of those types of things. So explain to me why that's so important to you. What is it that you teach the women that you work with? How does that play into your coaching as well?
Okay, so thank you so much for asking about Destination Bloom. Right now, I'm currently in the process of turning that into a non-profit organization. Little backstory, if you don't mind. I was a single mom for many, many, many years, and I have a heart for other single moms, and not just single moms, but women that are struggling with discovering who they are in Christ and who they are. And so when I have my groups, it's called Destination Bloom, and I liken it to bloom as in a flower, bloom as in the fruit that we, the gifts of the fruit that God has given us, bloom. And the destination is either the journey that we're on, or it's once we get to a point, the destination, not the final destination, but a destination. So the part of reflection that I discuss in that has to do with discovering who you are, discovering things about yourself so that you can really expand in the fullness that God wants for you to in whatever season you are in a particular time. We want to live a full life. We want to operate in the fullness that He wants for us to, because what I tell them is that we're not here for ourselves. We're not here just to exist. We're here because we have a purpose, and we want to know what our purpose is, but we want to know how our journey can help somebody else. Like my journey as a single mom, like it was so hard, it was so rough, it was tough, and I realized it wasn't really for me. I learned so many things as I learned about who I was, and like I said, that one particular time when I was looking in the mirror, because I was single at that time. When that happened, I was a single mom at that time, where I look in the mirror at who I am. Look in the mirror at who I am and how who I am can help somebody else. So when you look in the mirror, when you take that reflective look, that reflective glance of who you are, why you're here, what purpose you serve, when you're able to really, really do that, you're really not just helping yourself, you are helping advance the kingdom of God. And ultimately, that's what I feel like, in the grand scheme of things, that's what we're here for. Here to help advance the kingdom. So how can my experience, how can my journey help someone else? And we talk about that in Destination Bloom often. Destination Bloom, again, like I said, I mentioned flowers. It's all about like the life cycle, and I talk about like elements of dirt, preparing the dirt for the seed and watering the seed, and things that happen under the surface. A lot of stuff happens under the surface that people don't know about. When they see flowers, you go to a floral shop, all you see is the bloom. All you see is the finished product. But you don't know what it took to get there.
Right. They don't realize that seed started off in darkness.
They don't know. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can be excited talking about Destination Bloom. But yeah, we talked about reflection and how important it is. I give examples of myself, and when we meet in group settings, I welcome the examples of other people. Destination Bloom, and I always say this when I'm meeting with women, this is not about me. I want to hear from you. I want you to tell your story so that you're able to inspire and encourage somebody else. I'm just providing the venue for it.
That's excellent. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I got a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
You mentioned starting businesses that nobody knows about. We need to talk about that a little bit. I meet so many people, and my wife and I are getting there ourselves, to where we're trying to figure out, how do we get more financially stable? How do we become better stewards of our money? All these things. And whatever you read, when you sit down, it talks about multiple streams of income. Now, I understand some people may have been raised in a household where you've seen that, you grew up with it, mom and dad had multiple streams of income and you saw it your whole life. But for someone who maybe hasn't seen that, what does it look like to explore kind of different areas? Why is that important to be bringing in money different ways to supplement whatever your main source of income might be?
Okay, so we're going to keep it present. So today we are in the midst of COVID-19, and unfortunately, I don't know how many millions it is now, but the last I saw on television was like 3, or I could be very wrong, millions and millions of people do not have jobs right now.
Right.
Millions of people are very fearful of how to just eat, how to eat. I'm not talking about the rent. I'm talking about food for nourishment, energy, the thing that you need in order to live. People are worried about that. When you have other sources of income coming in, you can continue to eat. Now, I know that sounds really, really basic, and someone might be wondering, well, how do I got one business? How do I get more stream? I don't have enough time. I work and I have a business. I don't have any time.
And I'm a mom and a wife and you fill in the blank.
Right. So I'm going to tell you, I kind of was in that situation. I'm kind of in that situation. Some of my help. So your viewers don't know this, but my husband and I, y'all, we got 10 kids.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Y'all got Earth, Wind, and Fire. Just a whole band. You got dancers. Yes. Yeah, backup singers. Yes, the whole thing. The whole thing.
We do. We got a multi-talented group of children. Yes, we do. So most people don't know this. So our time is very, our time is really important to us. The way we spend it, it's very, very important to us. So one of the things that we need to do is make a lot of money. So we get multiple bangs for our buck. So I'm going to tell you this. So my name is Kellee Williams. I'm a lifestyle management coach, and I'm the owner of Just Kellee Lifestyle Management Coaching. But my coaching business, in my coaching business, I also am a speaker. I get paid to do that. So I'm a coach. I get paid to speak. I am an author. I get paid to do emceeing. That's part of the speaking component. People pay me for systems. People pay me for templates. These are passive forms of income that come, different streams that come in because of my one business. You can find ways to use your one business, and you can teach a course with your one business about how you do what you do. There are so many different ways that you can take your one business, because you don't have a lot of time right now. You can take that one business and you can build it into many different streams and just have the money coming in. You'll have to work for it, absolutely. But once your system is set in place, I'm very systematic, and I like systems, because once it's set up, you're just good to go. I like systems. But if you can create a system where the money comes to you with your one business, you're good with your multiple streams of income.
That's so good. So what I heard there was, you got to spend some time on the setup.
Yes.
Spend some time with kind of the vision, and then over time, some of that work that you already did starts to work for you.
Yes, and it could happen in a very short amount of time, and in some cases it can happen in a longer amount of time. It just depends on the nature of what it is you're trying to set up and what you're trying to do. But one thing I caution everybody is to not get caught up on the perfection of it, because when you try to do things perfectly, and I have to admit I am guilty of that, because I like it done nice. I believe in excellence.
Tell the truth. Yeah,
I can hold my own self up trying to make things perfect, and I will not progress. I will not progress. You get stuck and you lose focus on what you're really trying to do when you're trying to make things perfect. So sometimes you just have to get going. And it's funny that some things will just fall in your lap. Like some things just begin to just like, out of a fluke, like flukes just happen and things begin to fall in your lap just because, you just got going. I'll give you an example really quick. My husband and I, so one of the businesses that we have, we're heavy into real estate, and we do lots of different things with real estate. But we fell into a wonderful opportunity because my husband and I were sharing a conversation and somebody overheard our conversation. It just fell in our lap. Let me tell you, this opportunity is good.
Right.
It's great.
Wow.
Fell in our lap. So you just have to get started. Our getting started was a conversation, like a conversation. We just got started with a conversation and it fell into our lap. So it doesn't take much to just get going.
It's so funny. Actually, in the second episode, while this one is airing, the second one hasn't aired yet. But by the time people see this one, who knows when it'll be. I was filming the second one, and we had a conversation about why did I take so long to start my YouTube channel and to start doing interviews. Now, I was in prayer, heard in prayer from Holy Spirit, this is what I want you to do. I was like, nah, I'm not ready for all that. No, I don't need to be in front of anybody's camera. I'm not going to do that. And then even once I came up with the idea and I came up with 2 YouTube channels. One YouTube channel, I would not be on the camera. I loved that because I thought I could do it perfectly. I could have really great audio, but I wouldn't make any mistakes. He was like, nah, I need you in front of the camera. I can't do that with perfection. He's not looking for perfection. He's looking for excellence, a spirit of excellence. Sometimes you just got to go get in the ring, and then whatever it is that's inside of you comes out. I was doing the first interview, and I was in the middle of it saying, why did it take me so long to start doing interviews? just go do it. Make your mistakes. Now, what people didn't see before our interview started, we started it, the microphone that I had set up wouldn't work, technical problems. Does it affect anything? No, just your brain. So tell your brain to be quiet and keep following God.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to go all into this, but I will tell you, excellence starts with obedience. Oh my goodness.
That's good.
When you are obedient, watch how it just all comes together. That's excellence.
Excellence starts with obedience.
Yes.
That's good. What have you been told in your prayer time? What have you been told in your downtime? Yes. What is the idea that hits your spirit that will not leave? I did a video the other day where I talked about how the assignment that God has given you is someone else's answered prayer. And it's when you walk in your purpose that you understand the lives you were meant to help.
Absolutely. We don't know who it is we are meant to impact. We don't know. And we don't know, hold on here, because this might scare somebody. We don't know if it's now, or we don't know if it's 20, 30, 80, 100 years after we are long gone.
That's
but
good.
We are all created here for a purpose. And I truly, truly agree and believe also that our purpose is not just for us. It's not for us. It's for our legacy. And our legacy doesn't have to necessarily be people connected to us by blood. Just people connected to us because of purpose.
So let's talk about connecting. So somebody has been watching this video. Everything you have been saying is just speaking to them. They want to become a coaching client, or they want to find out how to be a part of Destination Bloom as that develops, or they want to read one of your blogs as they're coming out. They want to read, the expertise and wisdom you have to share. How do people find you on the web? How do people find you and connect with you? We'll make sure we list it down below. So how do people get to connect with Kellee?
So the best way to connect with me is to just go directly to my website. From my website, you're able to access my LinkedIn account, my Facebook accounts, and my Instagram accounts. You can also email me, send me a message through my website, which is justkellee.com. And it's JustKellee.com.
And we'll make sure that we post a link down below. And please, guys, reach out to her. You see, she's friendly, she's helpful, she's going to give you great perspective. If this whole interview has been speaking to you, make sure that you reach out to her, because this is not about me. This is about you connecting with people who truly inspire and people who are about something. And by the way, make sure you leave a comment down below. If this has been speaking to you, just make sure you say, like, thank you, this moved me, whatever it might be, because we want to make sure that we know that you're people that she needs to talk to.
Absolutely. I'm welcoming new clients right now. I'm welcoming new friends right now. If you just want to bounce some ideas off, send me a message. I love, as you can see, I love talking about business and purpose. So hit me up.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, guys, that is it for today. I don't know if none of you was blessed by the interview. I was blessed by the interview. So if I'm the only one who walks away with something, I'm cool with that. But I have a feeling it's way more than me. So Kellee, thank you so much for just taking the time to just share some of your wisdom. I know that's only just like a tiny bit of how much you have to offer people. And so I hope people will really go find you online and just take you up on this. Guys, this is it for this episode. Next Tuesday, we will be back with another special guest that you guys are going to love. And then I'm always posting content daily. So make sure you are following this channel, Today's Inspiration. Make sure you also leave comments below. Is there someone you would like to see, a speaker, a teacher, an author? It doesn't matter who it is. Somebody who inspires, who motivates, and you feel like they need to let their voice have a platform. That is it for today. My name is Maurice F. Martin, and this has been another episode of Today's Inspiration.